Have you ever felt the allure of the forbidden? That irresistible pull toward something that promises everything you've ever dreamed of, but at an unimaginable cost. Humans have always sought shortcuts to success, love, and power, often turning to the mysterious and supernatural. But what happens when the price is too high? Today, we'll unravel chilling stories of ambition, betrayal, and the dark forces that lurk behind promises of grandeur. Are you ready to step into a world where the line between reality and the supernatural blurs? For centuries, people have sought to bend the universe to their will. From ancient rituals to modern myths, the desire to gain control over fate remains universal. Imagine the grandeur of Mayan temples where human sacrifices were performed to ensure the sun's rise, or the whispered tales of Renaissance alchemists locked in shadowy chambers, chasing the philosopher's stone. These were not just acts of desperation, but of calculated ambition, proof of humanity's enduring thirst for power. But what about today? The stories you're about to hear reveal that the allure of the supernatural is far from ancient history. From bustling cities to remote villages, people still seek deals with forces beyond comprehension. Some succeed beyond their wildest dreams, while others pay a price so steep that even their souls might not be enough. Picture this. It's 2003, and Francisco is a struggling fruit vendor in a small town. Each morning, he drags himself to the local market, dreaming of a better life. His stand is modest, his earnings barely enough to survive. But Francisco is not just a man of hard work, he's a man of ambition. One day, a woman known for her spiritual connections visits his stall. She's a daughter of a local Umbanda center, a spiritual hub blending African, indigenous, and European influences. Francisco, desperate for a breakthrough, asks her to introduce him to the center's leader, the father of the house. When Francisco meets the father of the house, his plea is simple. He wants success. He's introduced to an Exu, a spiritual entity said to govern crossroads and decisions. The Exu offers him a pact, a ritual that would bring him wealth and prosperity in exchange for annual offerings. The terms are clear: fulfill your end of the deal or face devastating consequences. The transformation is almost immediate. Within months, Francisco's humble stall grows into a bustling market shop. A year later, he owns a supermarket. By the second year, he's a local magnate with luxury homes, international trips, and a lifestyle of excess. But success blinds Francisco. He skips the annual offering, dismissing the warnings of the spiritual leader. "I've achieved my goals," he says. "I don't need them anymore." This decision triggers a cascade of misfortunes. His business crumbles, his wealth evaporates, and his body is struck by a series of mysterious ailments. By 2013, Francisco is penniless, homeless, and haunted by visions of dark spirits whispering his doom. His story ends tragically, a cautionary tale of ambition turned to ruin. Would you dare to make a deal if the stakes were this high? Let's shift to a different kind of pact, a story where love becomes entangled with darkness. Meet Sarah, a talented pastry chef with a bright future, and Lucas, her charismatic yet flawed partner. Their relationship starts like a dream. Lucas supports Sarah's ambitions, even funding her culinary school and helping her open her dream bakery. But over time, cracks appear. Lucas becomes controlling, suspicious, and eventually violent. Desperate and trapped, Sarah confides in a trusted friend who introduces her to a spiritual practitioner named El Zero. Unlike Francisco's story, this isn't about wealth, it's about survival. El Zero offers Sarah a way out, a ritual to sever Lucas's hold on her. But when he casts the divination stones, his expression darkens. "This isn't just control," he says. "This is obsession. If you don't act, his fixation will destroy you." The ritual is performed, and soon after, Lucas's health begins to deteriorate. He develops a mysterious illness that no doctor can cure. His physical and emotional strength fade, leaving him a shadow of the man he once was. In his final days, Lucas apologizes, confessing his love and regret. But Sarah's relief is bittersweet. The man she once loved is gone, and she's left grappling with the weight of her choices. What do these stories teach us about the cost of pacts and rituals? They reveal a pattern, a promise of power or escape, followed by unforeseen consequences. Cultural beliefs around spiritual afflictions are filled with eerie details. Some say that breaking a pact invites malevolent entities into your life. Others describe symptoms of spiritual attacks, nightmares, sudden illnesses, and even physical marks. Historical texts recount similar warnings. In 16th century Europe, witch trials often targeted those believed to have made deals with the devil, with evidence ranging from mysterious scars to unexplained wealth. Modern psychology might explain these as stress-induced phenomena, but the uncanny parallels between these accounts and ancient warnings make one wonder, could there be more to these stories than mere coincidence? The supernatural has always captivated the human imagination, leading to both profound practices and comical misunderstandings. Take, for instance, the urban legend of a werewolf ritual found in an obscure 19th century grimoire. It promised transformation for anyone willing to drink water from a wolf's paw print under a full moon. Sounds ridiculous, right? Yet stories like this persist, highlighting the lengths people will go to chase the extraordinary. But what about rituals that are misunderstood or misused in today's digital age? Online forums are filled with DIY spell guides, often oversimplifying complex spiritual traditions. These practices, stripped of their cultural context, can backfire. One case involved a group attempting a wealth summoning ritual from a viral TikTok trend. Instead of prosperity, they reported months of bad luck and eerie disturbances at home. What do these anecdotes reveal? That the supernatural is not a game. Whether you believe in its power or not, the stories suggest one truth: ignorance can be dangerous. Recent years have brought new perspectives on the mysterious interplay between ambition and the supernatural. Documentaries like The Devil's Bargain and Pacts of Power delve into the psychological and spiritual impact of making deals with unknown forces. These works argue that the human psyche, when exposed to extreme pressure or greed, may create its own demons, blurring the line between the psychological and the supernatural. In one groundbreaking study referenced in Pacts of Power, researchers investigated individuals who claimed to have made spiritual pacts. Brain scans revealed heightened activity in regions linked to belief and reward. Could this suggest that the mind itself creates a self-fulfilling prophecy, where belief in a pact drives extraordinary success or devastating failure? Or could it mean these entities, real or imagined, are manipulating the mind? Deals with spiritual forces are not a modern phenomenon. Ancient Mesopotamian texts, such as the Enuma Elish, describe rituals where kings made offerings to gods for divine favor in battle. Similarly, Egyptian pharaohs conducted elaborate ceremonies to ensure Ma'at, the cosmic order, was maintained, often in exchange for their earthly success. Even in Europe, medieval grimoires like the Ars Goetia outline detailed instructions for summoning spirits to gain wealth or knowledge. Archaeologists recently uncovered a 16th century ceremonial site in France where items consistent with these texts were found, including engraved talismans and sacrificial artifacts. These findings raise a tantalizing question: were these rituals truly symbolic, or did their practitioners genuinely believe they were tapping into supernatural power? Let's leap into the future. What if humanity develops technology capable of mimicking the results of supernatural pacts? Imagine a neural implant promising instant success by enhancing your cognitive abilities or connecting you to vast networks of power. Wouldn't this be eerily similar to the deals we hear about in these stories? This concept is explored in speculative fiction, like the novel Demon Seed, where AI-driven contracts mimic the Faustian bargains of old. Such narratives prompt us to ask, as science progresses, could our future resemble the myths of the past? What happens when we can buy power at the expense of our humanity? The theme of making deals with higher powers isn't limited to one culture. In Japan, the myth of the kitsune tells of fox spirits who offer wisdom and wealth to humans in exchange for servitude. In Haitian voodoo, practitioners speak of loa, powerful spirits who can grant favors for offerings. Even in Native American lore, Stories of trickster spirits like Coyote warn of deals that often end in disaster. The global prevalence of these narratives suggests a universal truth. Humanity has always grappled with the idea of trading short-term gains for long-term consequences. Could this shared motif point to an archetypal human fear, or perhaps a universal spiritual truth? The fascination with pacts and the supernatural permeates modern entertainment. In shows like Supernatural and Lucifer, deals with demons drive the plot, often with devastating twists. Games like The Witcher and Devil May Cry explore similar themes, immersing players in worlds where choices carry weighty consequences. Even movies like The Devil's Advocate bring the concept into the mainstream, blending legal drama with dark spirituality. Why do these stories resonate so strongly? Perhaps because they mirror our own struggles with ambition, morality, and the choices we make. While Francisco's and Sarah's stories may seem personal, archaeology hints at deeper, collective connections. In 2020, a team in Guatemala uncovered artifacts suggesting rituals designed to invoke the Mayan god of prosperity, Choc. The site included offerings eerily similar to those described in Francisco's story: fruits, coins, and animal remains arranged in a precise circular pattern. These findings align with modern reports of spiritual pacts, suggesting a continuity of practice across millennia. Could the rituals of today be echoes of ancient traditions, subtly adapted to fit our modern world? And if so, how much of this ancient knowledge have we truly forgotten or are still unknowingly practicing? Beyond the spiritual and historical aspects lies a fascinating psychological dimension. Studies in behavioral economics reveal that humans are hardwired to take risks when faced with scarcity or desperation, precisely the conditions under which many pacts are made. This scarcity mindset often clouds judgment, leading individuals to focus solely on potential rewards while ignoring risks. Interestingly, this mirrors the structure of many pact stories. A person in need overlooks warnings, embraces a deal, and ultimately faces unforeseen consequences. Could our psychology be the key to understanding why these stories persist and why they often end in tragedy? Every story about pacts and rituals carries an implicit lesson. Francisco's tale warns of unchecked ambition, while Sarah's underscores the dangers of toxic relationships and desperation. These narratives serve as modern-day parables, teaching us to weigh our choices carefully and consider their broader implications. Even today, we face similar dilemmas. Think about decisions driven by greed, shortcuts taken in careers, or compromises made in relationships. Aren't these, in a way, modern pacts? The consequences may not involve dark spirits, but the fallout, broken trust, lost integrity, can be just as devastating. Have you ever wondered why so many people report dramatic changes after engaging in rituals or pacts? Scientists studying the placebo effect may offer some clues. In medicine, placebos, treatments with no active ingredients, often yield real results simply because patients believe they will. Similarly, anthropologists have noted that belief in rituals can create powerful psychological shifts. When someone believes they've made a pact with a higher power, their confidence and focus may increase, setting off a chain reaction of success. But there's a darker side too. Fear and guilt over breaking a pact can lead to stress, paranoia, and even physical illness. Could this explain some of the mysterious phenomena in stories like Francisco's or Sarah's? Or is it possible that belief, when combined with ritual, opens a gateway to forces we don't yet understand? The intersection of faith and reality is a mystery in itself, one that continues to fascinate scientists and spiritualists alike. Let's take a step back and consider a provocative idea. What if life itself is a kind of pact? Philosophers and theologians have long debated whether our existence is bound by unseen agreements. In ancient Hindu texts, for instance, karma operates as a cosmic ledger, rewarding or punishing individuals based on their actions in past lives. Similarly, existentialist philosophers like Jean-Paul Sartre suggest that every choice we make binds us to its consequences, much like a spiritual contract. Even in modern society, we enter into agreements, social, legal, and moral, without always considering their weight? What if these are just reflections of deeper spiritual pacts? If every action carries a hidden cost, how mindful should we be about the deals we make, consciously or not? This perspective blurs the line between the mystical and the mundane, encouraging us to question whether our lives are shaped by unseen forces or simply the accumulation of our own decisions. Either way, it's a question that lingers long after the stories have ended. As we close this journey, one question lingers. If given the chance, would you make a pact for your deepest desires? Would you risk the consequences for the promise of power, love, or escape? These stories remind us that the supernatural is not just about what we gain, but what we lose. They urge us to consider the weight of our choices, both seen and unseen. So, what do you think? Are these tales mere cautionary fables, or do they hold a deeper truth about the human condition? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if this journey through the mysterious and the macabre intrigued you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. After all, who knows what other secrets the world is hiding?